Welcome to another tr6 part video. Welcome to the next video of tr6 engine rebuild. Alright, so the last video I had put in the, well, I believe it on the crank, I've done the end float for your camshaft. I've put the nice new pistons in. So as you can see, they're nice and shiny in there. So what I'm going to move on to now is, obviously the next thing I want to do is start doing our timing. However, before we do timing, there's a few things we have to do first. We have to obviously find the top dead center on it. You have to find, well, we don't have to find the top dead center on this. It's a benefit. You don't have to necessarily. But we need to find the top dead center on this. But before we do that, we have to use our, we have to align our two sprockets. So, sorry, I just there. So. Here's the cam timing sprocket, gearing, whatever you want to call it. I've cleaned this and grinded it, just clean it up because the teeth are pretty good on it. And as you can see, it comes with timing markings. So there's the dots, the two dots here, one over here. And they're meant to line up with this in a way for the timing to set up based on when it was done originally. So when you originally done it, you lined it up, timed it, so on and so forth. However, you don't know what's going on with this over the time, what way it is. So in all honesty, even putting this back together, I'm not going to rely on them markings. I'm going to do my own timing. So before we do that though, we have to make sure that this lines up with the sprocket for the crankshaft. So your crankshaft gearing and your camshaft gearing. So let's get on with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the camshaft one on. And what we want to do is, it's meant to be torqued. Ideally you should torque it because, well, here's the train, he's not finished honking the horn yet. Because what it is that, like, when you want to line it up, you want to make sure that it's lined up based on them fitting in correctly. So I'm just using any things. I just want to put this on. I'm not too worried the way it is. It's just for the case of holding the sprocket on. Now, here we have our crankshaft end. So we're putting a brand new one on. So it has a brand new gearing. That's the original one that was on it. Like I said, there was nothing wrong with that. However, this one here had some pretty decent chunks out of it in the way that somebody had beaten it with a hammer at some point. So I decided to replace it with a new one. Anyway, so we have to make sure these align because, again, the chain, you don't want it too much off because it puts more stress on it. It'll wear this down, gives it more play. More play is loose. Loose play means a less effective engine. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to put it on and we're going to get a feel to see where it lines up. And if it doesn't, we're going to put shims in behind the here. Now, there's two different styles of shims. Well, there's two different sizes. As far as I know, there's only two. A 4-tail and a 6-tail shim. So, here's the original shims that were on it. Of course, they look absolutely terrible. But these ones, I don't know if you can see, you have the cutout for the key that's on the crankshaft. So these slide over. That's pretty handy. This one feels, that feels like 4-tail. This feels like a 6, and this feels like a 6. Just because that's thicker. There's two thick ones and a thin one. So we'll see. There was all three were on it. However, the ones I'm putting on, I have them up here, that's why the cloth's on top. Here's my new shims. These are all 4-tail. So I just have a bunch of them. And the thing is, the paper tin, but if you notice, they don't have the cutout for the key. So what you have to do, well, we have to take the key off. So that's what I've done. I've already taken the key off. Here's the key here, and that's, as you can see, it's like a smiley face, and that sits in the crankshaft here. Let me show you. Let me go this side and show you. So here's the gaffer. Sorry, it's in the dark shade. And here it is here. When the key is in, it basically it sits in at the back. I'll say the back. To take it out, what you do is you'll just grab it by your pliers and pull it as if you were, sorry, my hand's in the way. You just pull it as if you're pulling a nail. So start from this side up here, grip it and pull outwards. So look at now, and it peels out like here, and it'll peel out this way, and out it comes. All right, so it can be pretty stiff in there like this, and I'll clean up. But it gives you enough to clean up in there. As you can see, somebody tapped this or hammered it in, and somebody really tried to get this in because it's a little marked here. But yeah, that's just how it pops out. And then now, because the key is out, you can always replace it. Then we'll put our new shims on. I said, if you happen to get the shims that have the cut out, great. You don't have to take the key out. That's ideal. All right, so I'm gonna put the camera on this side. Only because I think there's more light. Okay. So let's see where we go with this. All right. So for right now, we're going to tools everywhere now that I look. We're going to put this on, so I'm going to spray just to give it a clean. Now in here, you want to clean in here as well. So when you have them off, make sure you get rid of the crap that's in there. Ideally, this slides on better when you line up the key where the hole where the key is meant to go. That's where it goes on a little easier. Okay, there we go. So push it all the way in. Now it's all the way in, and this is all the way on. What we want to do is we want to look at the space. So what we want to do is, if I was to turn this, you want to line up the outer edge here with the outer edge of this sprocket and see what the gap is. And if there's a gap, we push shims behind it and we slowly push this out to line up with this as close as we can. Just so again, it stops the chain, the wobble on the chain, because the more strain or an angle it is, it only wears this down, it only wears that down. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's a disinfectant. What's the word? I'm going to say disinfectant. It just brings the performance down over time because it gets loose. All right, so what we're going to use to measure. There's a number of tools you could use, but all you really need is something long and straight and pretty straight. So I'm going to use the micrometer here because I know that's a pretty straight line. And it's simple. All I'm going to do is I'm going to place it against the outside of the top, the cam wheel. I'm going to basically put it, put it here and slide it down. I'm going to see where it finishes up. So let me see if I move back. I'm going to have to zoom in. To move it a bit more. But I don't know if you can see, but there is a gap right here. If I move this, you can see it swinging. So if I was to slide this along here, do you see that? It's just a small little gap right between the two there. So if I push this, oh, you go down a bit more. If I was to push this, see, there's the gap there. So that's the gap we need to fill in. So again, we have to make sure that it's, sorry, the hands of the way. We have to make sure it's dead flat against the top one. To see what the spacing is. So you can see it there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a few shims on it and then push the sprocket out. Move out so you can actually see, otherwise I'm moving around this chair. I feel like a dentist. Coming around the slide chair. Alright. So that had 3 shims on it. So I'll start off with 3 just to see. And if it's over, I can always take them off. So 3 shims puts me at 12 toe. Not that makes much of a difference how much, but I'm sure if you start getting loads and loads and loads of shims, it'd be better off probably to. And I reckon because I've grinded the, or should I say, I've cleaned this up and grinded it down, I reckon I've probably taken a couple of toe off it as well. I'm not gonna lie, so. Spray in here to get this on easier. Ooh. Oh man. was going on easy last time. Oh, jeez. Guess I passed a dry patch. Ooh. Alright. So, in it goes. Not too much pressure on it because it will get pushed in. And you have the front piece on. And let's go measure again and see where we are. Ooh, I'm bumping off the camera here. The wheel. There we go. Actually, the wheel on the dolly here was getting right in the way. Alright, let's try it again. So let's see where we're at. So with 3 of them, there's still that space in there. So that's 12. So I'm thinking what was on it was 6, 12, 16. So, well, no, I'm going to try another. I'll put 3 of them on it. Ooh. Drop my shim. Let's put another, I suppose we'll go another 2. So let's just see. Because that looks a big gap and I don't think 1's going to do it. That seems like a lot of shims in here. Like a lot of 4-tail shims, which is, if I put 3 of them on it, I believe I put 3. This would be 5. I have to count now how many I put on. Pretty sure I stuck 3 of them on. It doesn't make much of a difference as long as you end up with what you look for. There's 1, 2. Oh, I put 4 on. Is it? 1, 2, 3. I'm pretty sure there's 1 on there. Anyway, let's add more on. A lot of shims in here. Alright. Let's see where we are. Hopefully it's beyond it. I don't know what you're seeing. I didn't realize I was still zoomed in. And that looks pretty close. I think it could be 1 more. And again, these are all 4, so I reckon it could be 4 6s. Now again, that's only because I have I've skimmed the top one. In fact, I'm going to turn the cam a bit just to make sure. That's pretty close. So I'm sure there is some wiggle room allowed in the way of play. Now again, don't get me wrong, actually I haven't checked to see the play on the cam. Because there's a bit of play on your crankshaft as well, should I say. So, yeah, well yeah, now that I moved the crankshaft, that bit of play. That's pretty damn close. So could I live with that? Absolutely. Right? That's very little margin, so that's all the shims done on it. So took a few more than I thought, but again, that's the whole idea. And again, it depends on everything. I did clean all in there, so yeah, if I put the 6th tail on it, which in all honesty, some of these feel bigger. Do you know what, I'm gonna measure this. I'm curious now. Yeah, that's me. That's 10 tail. This shim is 10/10 of an inch. It's pretty thick. I know it's all rusty, but oh, 8, 8, 9. We'll say 8. Give it the benefit of the doubt. It's 8. Where's the paper tin one? This one? That's 5/10. Or give or take, like I said, if it wasn't rusty, probably 4 watts on it. So yeah, so these are pretty thick. I don't think you can get them that thick. I don't know if you can see it there. I don't think they were that available that thick. I'm pretty sure they were only available in 4 and 6. But if that's the case, that makes, well, wonders why I had to put so many of them on that. So obviously the crank or something that must have been machined or something for it to be down. But either way, you know what? That's good enough in the way of the spacing. It's pretty pretty close. I'm happy enough with that. So now I have that on. What I'll do is I'll take this off, and I'm actually going to we're going to get the top dead center of the cam, and then we're going to come back and we're going to grab our timing wheel, which is sitting on this engine behind, with my lovely makeshift pointer, as you can see, because mine broke. And what we're going to do is we're going to get the next video, we're going to get the top end of the cam, we're going to get the top end TDC, top dead center of the crank, and then we're going to do a timing. So we're going to base on the cam, what it needs to be at when it's fully open, and then we're going to turn the timing to it. I'm going to match it up. That won't be the end, because I won't take it into account. Like I done it with this one back here. I stuck that was 110 because it's a late crank, so it's probably still at 110. Is it? Yeah. I'm still at 110. That's exactly where I put it, and I tightened that up, and that's it. So, but again, when I come back to that one will change, because when I put everything on the top, when I put all the head on and everything, I'll redo it again to see where it is, and I'll end up doing some fine adjusting on the cam, because I have a funny feeling that because of the teeth, you'll never get it lined up properly. So where you think it's 110, I guarantee when you're going to open it, it's probably going to be like 107, 108, and I'll show you how we can get it back to exactly 110, like pinpoint. All right, so that's it for this video. And yeah, join me in the next part where we start getting the TDCs of the cam and the crankshaft, and then we'll actually set the original timing and go from there. So again, any comments, questions, concerns, give me a shout. I'll try to help you as best I can. And again, thanks for watching.